Think the 1970s is all about bell-bottoms, disco, and mustaches? Well, think again. The 70s produced some of the best horror movies that have ever been made. Many of them are still great to watch today, and if you haven't seen them, then you are missing out. In this video, we'll take a look back at some of the 1970s top horror movies. So grab your popcorn and let's get into it. Number 12. Tales from the Crypt is a 1972 British horror film. It is actually 5 separate segments based on the short stories from EC Comics series Tales from the Crypt. In the film, 5 strangers encounter the mysterious Crypt Keeper who makes each person in turn foresee the manner of their death. This movie paved the way for horror films like Creepshow in the 1980s, as well as the actual series Tales from the Crypt, which premiered in 1989 and ran for 7 seasons on HBO. It has had a lasting impact on those that love short horror stories. Number 11. Invasion of the Body Snatchers is a 1978 film starring Donald Sutherland, and it is a science fiction psychological horror. When strange seeds drift to Earth from space, mysterious pods begin to grow and invade San Francisco, replicating the city's residents one body at a time. Matthew Bennell, played by Sutherland, must work quickly before the city is consumed by this invisible enemy. Number 10. The Amityville Horror is a 1979 supernatural horror film that follows a young couple who purchased a home haunted by combative forces. This New York State home was the scene of a recent mass killing and the home of an 18th century Satanist. When swarms of flies appear from nowhere and pipes and walls begin to ooze slime and blood, they call a local priest to exorcise the evil spirits. Number 9. The Omen is a 1976 film that starred Gregory Peck, who plays an American diplomat named Robert who adopts Damien when his wife Catherine delivers a stillborn child. After Damien's first nanny is hanged, Father Brennan warns Robert that Damien will get Catherine's unborn child. Shortly thereafter, Brennan dies and Catherine miscarries when Damien pushes her off the balcony. As more people around Damien die, Robert investigates Damien's background and realizes that his adopted son may be the Antichrist. Number 8. Duel is a 1971 film by Steven Spielberg and starred Dennis Weaver. David Mann, played by Weaver, is a mild-mannered electronics salesman who is driving across country on a 2-lane highway when he encounters an old tanker driven by an unseen driver who seems to enjoy annoying him with dangerous antics on the road. Unable to escape the demonic big rig, David finds himself in a dangerous game of cat and mouse with the monstrous rig. When the pursuit escalates to deadly levels, David must summon his inner warrior and turn the tables on his tormentor. Number 7. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a classic low-budget masterpiece that came out in 1974. It has a smart script and sort of a documentary camera style that is used in the film. Some young adults encounter a house full of demented butchers who chase them with chainsaws and other deadly tools. This movie is super suspenseful, and what makes this one even more riveting is how it claimed to be based on true events. The film is very good, but that statement is only a little true and mostly false. The idea was taken from a real-life serial killer who acted alone in the state of Wisconsin. The story is completely different, but the idea of wearing skin came from Ed Gein. Number 6. Dawn of the Dead was the second film in the George A. Romero's telling of zombie movies. It perfectly blended horror and gore with social commentary on material society. As hordes of zombies swarm all over the U.S., the terrified populace tries everything in their power to escape the attack and the undead, but neither the cities nor the countryside prove safe. In Pennsylvania, radio station employee Stephen and his girlfriend Francine escape in a station helicopter accompanied by 2 renegade SWAT team members, Roger and Pete. The group retreats to the haven of an enclosed shopping center to make what could be humanity's last stand. Number 5. Carrie is a film that came out in 1976 and it was based on Stephen King's novel. The movie tells the story about a withdrawn and sensitive teen named Carrie who faces taunting from classmates at school and abuse from her mother at home. When strange occurrences start happening around Carrie, she begins to suspect that she has a supernatural power. Carrie gets invited to prom by the empathetic Tommy Ross and she tries to let her guard down, but things eventually take a dark and violent turn. Number 4. Alien is a 1979 movie that blends science fiction with horror. The film follows the crew of a commercial starship who is awakened from their cryosleep capsules halfway through their journey home to investigate a distress call from an alien vessel. The terror begins when the crew encounters a nest of eggs inside the alien ship. An organism from inside an egg leaps out and attaches itself to one of the crew, causing him to fall into a coma. Initially, this movie got mixed reviews, but it won an Academy for Best Visual Effects. Many people today consider this movie one of the greatest and most influential science fiction and horror films of all time. Number 3. Halloween came out in 1978 and it was directed by John Carpenter. This movie is certainly a masterpiece. The film starts out on a cold Halloween night in 1963 when 6-year-old Michael Myers brutally murdered his 17-year-old sister Judith. He was sentenced and locked away for 15 years, but on October 30th, 1978, while being transferred for a court date, 21-year-old Michael Myers steals a car and escapes Smith's Grove. He then returns to his quiet hometown of Haddonfield, Illinois, where he looks for his next victims. Jamie Lee Curtis is what really sells the movie in her part of Laurie Strode. Since its release, there have been numerous sequels, video games, and merchandise. Number 2. The movie Jaws came out in 1975 and it terrorized people everywhere. In fact, people developed a fear of sharks not only in the ocean, but also in lakes, rivers, or anywhere else where they couldn't see the bottom. Perhaps no other movie has had that sort of power. The movie tells the story of a huge great white shark that kills a woman in the New England tourist town. The police chief named Martin Brody wants to close the beaches, but the mayor wants to keep them open. It's then up to the police chief, Matt Hooper, and the ship captain Quint to eliminate the killer beast in an epic battle. Before we get to number 1, let's visit a couple movies that are worth mentioning but don't quite make the list. The first one is Young Frankenstein, which is a 1974 horror comedy that is brilliant if you like both of those genres. Respected lecturer Dr. Frederick Frankenstein learns that he has inherited his infamous grandfather's estate in Transylvania. Arriving at the castle, Dr. Frankenstein soon begins to recreate his grandfather's experiments with the help of Igor and a couple other servants. After he creates his own monster, new complications ensue with the arrival of the doctor's fiancée. In this film, Gene Wilder is witty and offbeat as Dr. Frankenstein. The second one worth mentioning is Blackula, and it is a horror fantasy in the blaxploitation genre. During a visit to Transylvania, an African prince gets turned into a vampire by Count Dracula. Sealed in a coffin for several lifetimes, Blackula reawakens in 1970s Los Angeles. Leaving a trail of bloodless victims in his wake, he pursues Lena, a woman who bears a striking resemblance to his dead wife. Meanwhile, Dr. Gordon Thomas and Top Lieutenant Peters are on the bloodsucker's trail. And now let's get back to the number 1 movie on our list, The Exorcist. It came out in 1973 and shocked the world. This movie was so scary that it supposedly caused people to have heart attacks, miscarriages, fainting, and vomiting in the audience. Of course, all of those reports just made people want to see it more. This was the first horror movie to ever be nominated for an Academy Award for Best Picture. The Exorcist drastically shifted the landscape of the genre, and it opened the door for modern possession movies as we know it. Linda Blair is absolutely iconic in her role as Regan, the demon-possessed child who is one of the most recognizable movie monsters of all time. This film definitely crossed some boundaries that had never been crossed before. Because of that, some people have refused to see it, even to this day. Many of these scary movies redefined horror, and they were much more graphic than the previous decades. Some of them have installed lifelong fears into those that have seen them, and that's when you know you've made a great film. What are some of your favorite horror films from the 1970s? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching.